Howdy, how you going?
Saw you going like this, and I was like, "Uh-oh, he can't hear me."
Yeah,
So,
nice to meet you.
nice to meet you too. How are you?
Yes, I'm good. Good.
Early there,
How's
right?
it over
Eight,
there?
8 o'clock in Australia.
Yes, yeah, we're on the west side, so 8 o'clock here.
Perfect, right?
So, yeah, so I'm actually Perth is the city, the capital city.
Yes.
I'm actually from the bush, so it's kind of like probably 3 hours east of Perth, but to make it easier for everyone, I just say Perth. Um,
3 hours.
but kind of
So you're really out in the middle of nowhere then, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. If you ever go get a chance, like to Google Map it, type in Narrabeen, and it is literally in the middle of nowhere. Um,
How did you end up
where
in the middle of nowhere in Australia?
Yeah, I asked myself the same question.
Yeah.
Um, I'm a farmer's son, so yeah, I guess just born up on the farm.
Yes.
Um, and yeah, but it's so remote. Australia is really remote anyway, and especially on the west coast. And then yeah, just turned out I happen to be a farmer's son, and that's kind of the story of how I got into doing what I'm doing. Um, Using recycled metal well, it's the only thing I really had at the time to use.
Right.
So yeah, it kind of just that and my love for animals, and I really enjoyed metalwork, and that's kind of how this evolved. I didn't ever think I'd be doing what I'm doing. It kind of just
Yeah, it
happened
happened.
based on my geography and my disposition with animals and my interest in metalwork, and it kind of just melded into what I'm doing, yeah, now. But yeah, crazy that I'm doing it in the middle of nowhere in Australia, and then the work kind of goes, well, everywhere,
Yeah.
but I'm in like one of the remotest places in the world to do it. So I think it's just cool how we can do that now as artists.
Yeah, that's amazing. And so what did your dad farm? What was he? Was he a farmer, a rancher? What did he do both?
Yeah, yeah. So it's all cropping,
Okay.
wheat, barley, canola, a little bit of lupins, but it's all just grain, really. We don't do any livestock anymore. But yeah, ever since I've been a kid, I've been on the farm, and I don't know if we're third or fourth generation farmers now
Wow.
in Australia.
Wow. So your grandfather, your great grandfather, they were all farmers in that area?
Yeah, yeah, and even before then, they were farmers again, but from a different area. So a long line of farmers.
Yeah.
So
And
yeah, it's only really recently that people have started breaking the mold, as in they're not farming, they're going out and I don't know, doctors or engineers or artists. Like it's only just recently that people have started thinking, oh, I can actually do something other than what my family's always done.
yeah, and so when you're growing up as a kid, you're way out in the middle of nowhere. So you know everybody, right? It's a very small community, I'm assuming, right?
Yes, it'd be strange if I went to town and I didn't know someone. Um, so it's a good thing and a bad thing. I don't know if you know much about small country towns,
I
but
do.
um,
Very much.
yeah, if you get a cold, everyone's going to know about it.
Yep.
Um, so it has its perks. Like if you're doing the right thing, it's a good thing. But if you're doing the wrong thing and people don't get along with you, then everyone like it just yeah. Uh, that's the thing. I think that's another reason why I was able to get off the ground with my work is I had um, probably about 500 people that knew everything that I was doing at the same time and then supported me through social media
Wow.
just because they knew me. And I think at the start, when you're building a name as an artist, is you just need a good group of people that will support you at the start just to get you out there.
Right.
And then I guess the algorithm will help you out there. But especially in the start in those first couple of years, I look at the followers that were supporting me, and it's just people from my town. So
That's
um,
amazing. Because people
yeah,
don't know who you are, and they will now. I mean, they already do on Instagram, but you've got a million followers, over a million followers, right? So
Mm,
it started with
yep.
500 local townspeople.
Pretty well. It's just people that know me from my town, and then it just grows exponentially. Like it grows. That's the thing with social media. It grows exponentially. Um, to now, I've probably got more followers overseas than I do locally in Australia. So I think US has got my biggest following, and then like Brazil, Canada, UK. Like it's not Aussie. So yeah, it's only, and I'd say in the last, well, probably since COVID, it's just kept going up and up.
Yes.
Um, and yeah, I mean that's the thing. I don't know how many artists you speak to, but I wouldn't have a job without social media.
Yes. So I speak to artists every day, multiple times a day. And I've been doing this podcast for 8 years, so which is artist centric. So I've heard a lot of stories, but I will say so far, this one's really at the top because, your journey is very interesting. You're a farmer's son who's a farmer's farmer's son, farmer's farmer's son in a very small town. I'm guessing the town is less than a couple thousand people that you actually kind of live near.
Yeah, so it's about 800 people.
Yeah, not even.
Yep.
So, and growing up, your ambition was it to be, because that's kind of what you thought, I think, to be a farmer, or did you go, there's something else out there for me?
Yeah, so I wasn't ever wanting to be a farmer. I went to university in Perth, and I studied psychology.
Okay.
So I got a degree in that, and it was at the end of my degree. There was like an we call it Sculptures by the Sea here in Australia, and they have sculptures all on the beach. Um, and I just went down there on the weekends, I think, and I noticed like I knew people. There was obviously people doing this as a job, but I didn't realize people could actually make a reasonable living off it because you saw the price tags on these pieces, and I wow, like this is phenomenal. So I think that was about 13 years ago that I came up with this idea that maybe I could actually do this and you can actually get paid to do it. I didn't think I'd be doing what I'm doing now. I definitely didn't think I'd be doing what I'm doing now. Um, that kind of just sparked an idea in my head that you could actually do this and get paid to do it. And then at the end of my psychology degree, I'm like, I'm going to take a year off and just build stuff in the shed. And if people like it, that's great. If they don't, that's fine. I still get to do it and it's fun. So I came back to the farm and worked in the workshop. And yeah, it's been 12 years since that gap year from university, and I'm still on it. Um, and hence, yeah, social media is kind of blown up, and now I've got, yeah, too much work. But
That's good.
um,
As an artist,
yeah,
you want too much work. Let me tell you, you definitely want too much work.
yeah, yeah. I think, and that's the thing. I think I'm glad I had those first couple of years where things were pretty lean. Like as an artist building a name, you take whatever you can get.
Right.
Um, I was open to all commissions as long as they were animals. Um, and yeah, like I do school talks now where I go speak to kids. And I actually say like you can become an artist, but your first 3 or 4 years are going to be tough. There's no other way. I've never seen an artist just blow up in their first year and just start getting paid
No, they don't.
big bucks. Like it just doesn't, or I've never seen it. Even in the time of social media where things can move very quickly, um, I haven't seen it happen yet. So uh, I just say your first 3 or 4 years are going to be tough. If you can get through them, you're probably going to survive, and you'll do it. From my experience, it just gets better and better after that.
Yeah.
But you got to pay your dues those first 3 or 4 years. Um, and then once you survive that, then yeah,
Right. So when
then
you're
it gets better.
Yeah, and I would say it's more than 3 to 4 years. I think that's a fast track. For most artists, it's probably more like 8 to 10 years even, depending on it. And
Yep.
as I said, social media can change it. but you also have to, that's a rare thing for you to have that many followers. That's not a common thing. Even if you're a good artist, there's something that resonates and within you and the artwork that generates people's interest. And I was one of those. My son was one of those. We saw your work and I go, oh, that's really interesting. I saw it independently on Instagram and said, yeah, that's good. That's actually really good art. And then my son was like, oh yeah, you should reach out to him. And I'm like, so he did that. But when you first did what you did, and it's 12 years ago, first of all, what did your mom and dad think about what you were doing? You just got back with a degree from psychology
Yeah.
and now you're going to make things in your shed.
Yeah. I think they thought this will last a year. I think they thought like,
Right.
look, you can do what you want. They're pretty supportive. Uh, for starters, I took over the workshop, the farm workshop. So like, uh, I don't know what Dad still thinks of that because I'm still in the same workshop, but I kind of took over the workshop
Right.
and he's way neat. He's so much tidier than I am. Yeah, I like to lay everything out on the floor and work that way. He's have everything in their little spot and box. So we're kind of the opposite in that. So he's kind of just left me to that workshop now. But yeah, they definitely didn't think I'd be doing what I'm doing, and I don't think they ever thought things can go as big as they probably could online. Like, and same with me. Like, I don't even know how to. Like, 1 million people is so hard for me to conceptualize
I know.
coming from a town of 800 people. Like, I just don't know what that looks like. Um, or you do a video on social media and it gets like 50 million views. It's like that's bigger than Australia. That's double the size of Australia. Like I don't understand the numbers really. It's cool and it's amazing, but yeah, it blows my mind. I can't get my head around it either.
And so I didn't even know that you have a video that had 50 million views.
Yeah, it actually happened not long ago. Um, it's on Instagram. It's got like 52 million views. Uh, which so and this is the thing I think they don't tell you about going viral. Everyone wants to go viral, and it's a really good thing. Um, but it comes with like I can't remember how many scams or hackers I got when that thing went viral. Like
Yeah.
uh so this is the other side of virality, the dark side. You'll get so many scammers or hackers come to your like I don't know, I don't know how it works, but the algorithm blows up your stuff and it puts it out to the world. And there must be a small group of hackers, scammers, whatever, that pick up on it as well, and they'll try and target your page. Um, which is yeah, you don't know about that until it goes viral. Um, so yeah, that's not the fun part. But then also the other part is just dealing with like hundreds, if not thousands, of messages, DMs,
Oh,
emails,
yeah.
like you're saying, like, and you pretty much as like I'm just one person, I pretty much have to say no to everything
I
just
was,
because I can't do it. Um, so yeah, I think it's what every every probably artist thinks they want until they get it, and then they're like, oh,
I got it.
it's more than it's more than just the numbers. It's more than just like the numbers you see on the screen of the large following or whatever and the big view count. There's lots of other things that come with it that probably a lot of artists don't want to deal with.
Yes.
Um, but yeah, look, I'm not um I'm certainly not taking it for granted because I know, yeah, there's lots of people out there that would love to have that. I guess just even just the exposure or even just a little bit of the exposure just to get their work out there.
Right. So when you have that happen, first of all, why do you think that video did so well? Is there any way to know?
No, I because I've done videos very similar to it.
Uh-huh.
It's really just it was a what was it? It was like a trend that's on Instagram. It's like with this catchy music, and I literally just had myself go out the back, video myself in front of the scrap metal, and it was like, oh, what was it? Like, so what do you do for your day job? Or, like something like that.
Yeah.
And then um, like it was something like that, and then it was like a 6 second clip of that, and then it's just video of all my different sculptures from over the years.
Yep.
Um, and so it seems to hook people in for the first 6 seconds. Um, and I don't think they're expecting what my sculptures are. Like they're not expecting,
Right.
um, they see me and they're like, oh, this guy's just a hobbyist
Yeah.
or he's having a go. And then it goes to all my sculptures over the last 10 years, all in kind of good lighting and the right movement. And um, then it hooks them, and then it's just like bang, 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 bang. And it just seems to be, uh, what's the word? Addictive. Like they can't turn off, they can't switch off.
Yes.
Uh, that's what I think. And it doesn't seem to matter where they're from geographically. Like if they're from Mexico or Brazil or India or like it still seems to hook them. It doesn't seem to matter. But look, the algorithm is such a funny thing. Like why one thing works and then the next day or the next week, nothing. Like sometimes you don't know. Sometimes there's no rhyme or reason.
And you get one that goes 50 million. So the next day, do you go, God, I hope it doesn't go viral? Or do you, if it doesn't do well, you go, I wonder what happened there.
Yeah, so like you want the sweet spot is a million. Like so, or it doesn't really matter what your page is. Like if you've got 10,000 followers, you want something to get to say a tenth of your page, the page size. I think that's the sweet spot. Um, Going viral, like as I was saying before, is a good thing, but you definitely don't want that to happen all the time. I just think it can create more headaches than it solves. And as an artist, I can only do one thing at a time anyway. So
Oh, that's
you
right.
do one post and it goes a tenth of your following or even half of your following, which is still really good. Um, you'll get a heap of work just from that and a heap of good exposure. But if you get a viral post and it gets 10x your following, it's too much. It's too much all at once. You want a steady trickle coming in. Um, but the thing is, like with a viral post, uh, you'll get exposed to people way out of your uh, what's the word?
League.
League. Yeah, that's probably a good word. Um,
Because everybody,
yeah, I've had
a lot of people see it,
DMs.
you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. People like NBA players or
Right.
like Major League Baseballers or billionaires or like
Right.
people are seeing that and commenting on it, and you're like, I think the point we made at the start is like I'm a little artist out in the middle of nowhere in Australia in a shed,
Yeah.
and people in the other side of the world who are like famous are seeing it. I think that's the part. Like this
Mind.
is social media now. You're like, how does this even happen?
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, that can happen as well. Which I guess if you like that can be a really good thing. But um, yeah, there's the people that you can get exposed to is incredible.
Yeah. And how do your local people who you know everyone, these are your friends, and how do they take all this in? Because then by proxy, they are into this as well. They can't help themselves because they're there, right? Does it change that
Yep.
relationship?
No, thank goodness. I wouldn't want them or anyone to treat me any differently because I guess they knew me since I was little and doing whatever. So I don't want them to treat me any differently. Like I think they're coming along on the journey and it's cool to say that like he's actually from our town and
Right.
this is what it's like. It kind of does put your town on the map, but they certainly don't treat me any differently just because now I've got the following and the numbers and yeah, which is good.
Yeah.
I'm exactly the same person that I was. It's just now there's a number on a screen saying you've got this many people following you. So, yeah, but no, it's been good. They were supportive at the start when I had no followers, and they're supportive now that I've got a few more. So,
Hopefully you have a girlfriend already.
well, I don't, and I
Uh-oh.
don't think social media is probably not the right way to go about it.
No,
You get a lot of attention, and sometimes it's not the right,
I'm sure.
probably not the girlfriend material. But yeah, again, something you'll find out when like you're on it and you're in it and you're like, oh, probably not as good as people make it out to be. Like you hear kids and they want the large following and
Right.
like, oh, probably not what you want. I get it. I get you're wanting the perks that come with social media and you can get free stuff and you can get paid to do it and stuff, but it also comes with a lot of headaches. Uh, and also like, so my background before was psychology.
Right.
Uh, Social media is not great for all things mental health. Like I don't think it's like a lot, especially since COVID, a lot of research has come out with social media use and um, just your mental health. And especially, I guess, as artists, a lot of our identity is attached to our art,
Most of it.
which because it's such a like it comes internally from us, and we put it out to the world, and we're like, we really hope the world loves this.
Right. It's
Um,
very
we
personal.
put it out, yeah, and then you go onto social media, and someone says this thing about your work that's like so attached to you, it can really hurt someone's their whole it can
Persona.
yeah persona. And I've seen it before, like some people just are really cruel on social media,
Yep.
and you have an artist put out their work, and yeah, someone just it's like a punch in the gut, and you could have a hundred positive comments and then you have this one negative one. It's just
Right.
like, oh, that hurts. um so yeah, I guess that's another thing with social media is you're exposed to a lot of positive things but also negative at the same time.
Do you read your posts? I mean, I read some, but I have a tenth of what you have. But it's I'm a writer too, and so I never read comments on my books. I just, because it is so personal, I think that, and especially at your level, it may be to the point where it's better psychologically and as an artist not to read them, honestly, or get an assistant that can, filter through the ones that you need to answer, because there's going to be people that will say wonderful things you want to answer, and people that want to buy your sculpture, I'm sure. But, have you thought about that component of it?
Yeah, so I do have a assistant, and she does a fair bit. But yeah, I do read, like, so the good thing is not everything's going to blow up and go viral. So then the comments and whatnot are manageable. The ones that go viral, you can't.
Yeah,
You can read maybe 50 to 100 comments and reply to them, and then after that,
yeah,
it's done. Like it just keeps growing and growing and growing. Um, I'm pretty lucky. Like I'd say the overwhelm 99.9% are positive, which is nice. Certainly, yeah, makes it easier to go onto the comments and read. Um, but yeah, I can still go through like over the years. There's been a handful of comments just from the amount of you're exposed to millions of people. Someone is going to write something and it's probably going to be pretty jarring. Um, and then you remember that. So I think
that's
just
why
being
they do it
aware
in that
that,
way. That is exactly why they do
yeah,
it.
yep, yep. Um, I mean, those comments generally push the post further as well. So then I've got a lot of followers that will just come to my aid and back me up. Not that I even reply to the comments, but it pushes the post even further.
Right.
Just because this, I don't know the troll, or I don't even know if the person's real. Um, but yeah, someone will say something, and then yeah, just all my followers would then jump on the bandwagons, like kind of defend. Um, which yeah, it's always nice. It's nice to see that as well. That they don't know you, but they're willing to support you and back you up when someone says something kind of out of line.
Yeah. Well, I can honestly say, as an art dealer with 35 years of experience, I love your sculptures. I think they're unique. Yeah, you have a very interesting point how you see it. The sculptures themselves, I looked at them and looked at them. That was really what I was interested in as much as anything. And to see the movement, I see the movement in all your sculptures. I think that is one, maybe you can even describe a little bit because even though these pieces are made out of reclaimed pieces of metal and a variety of things, they have a sense of, the animal has a sense of a personality, I think, and awesome movement. And I think that's part of the reason they're so compelling. At least they are to me.
Mm. Yep, yep, and definitely that's something I've worked on over the years is try to capture movement in sculpture or in the animal. Um, so when I'm picking the pose of the animal, I do try and find one that's kind of in movement, in flow. Um, just because you can build station like uh, the animal in its kind of like I never do sitting positions. It doesn't stand out, or even just standing upright. That's fine, but I want them to be moving forward
Hmm,
or like a leg up or a
right.
leg back. Um, and that's really just looking at anatomy of the actual animal. Um, I think people like metal is so versatile. Like you can do almost anything with metal. I know it's really hard, but you can bend, you can meld, like weld, you can like sculpt it almost with a grinder. Like you can do a lot with metal. Um, and if you've got enough pieces, you can almost capture anything, any shape. Uh, so yeah, I think that's another thing people think as well when they see my art. They think I know where the piece will go. They're like, how does that fit in so perfectly to that spot?
Right.
And to be honest, I don't know. I know that the piece will look like a horse or an ibex or a deer or something, but individually, I don't know where each piece is going to go. It's like um, a you've heard of Lego,
Yeah,
Lego,
sure. Yeah.
those little blocks. It's like having a big Lego set and you spread it out on the floor, and then you're picking up individual pieces to try to go into this spot. Um, and it's really trial and error. Like I've gotten better at it. And I know I have a good idea, but I don't know specifically where each piece is going to go. And I think that's the fun part. It's like a puzzle piece,
Yeah.
and I'm working it out as I'm working.
Yeah.
And then you'll just find the perfect piece. You're like, yep, weld it in. And um, I'm sure as being in the art industry, you've heard about like the flow state.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I'm an
Yeah, like
artist, so I
it's
get into it too, right? It's the magic.
yeah, yeah. It's like, and it's addictive. Like getting into that flow state as
Yeah.
an artist, it's so addictive. It's ask any creative, like when they're in that flow state, they like just lose track of time. Time just goes. Um, So yeah, like probably all artists out there, I'm chasing that.
Yep.
So when I find a piece and it's like, yes, I'm in, weld it. Like the next 10 pieces will go in really quickly.
Right.
Um, and you can fly through work. I'm sure you're the same with your, are you a painter or
No, I write books, murder mysteries.
oh, cool.
So it's the
Yeah,
same
right.
kind of thing. I'm building the puzzle in my mind as I go.
Yeah. Okay. So, you're a author and do you also author that does podcasts? Is that correct?
That's right. 8 years.
Yep.
Yep. Every week.
Yep.
And it's usually on
Cool.
artists and art dealers, collectors, everybody that's in the art world, directors, museum directors, that kind of thing. So, and
Yeah.
yep.
So why the arts world? Um Your books, are they to do with art as well,
Yep.
or are they?
All built on the
Uh,
art world.
yep. Yeah, right.
Yep. So, and I also use historical fiction in them as well, but they're set primarily in my region, which is the southwest of Arizona, so in New Mexico. So, it's the protagonist is
Yep.
an art dealer, and then all the villains that come through our world, which is there's lots in the art world, which you probably have felt a few of them, and you'll probably feel more as time goes on. So,
Mm,
but
yep. Um, Sorry, and um, did you say you run a gallery or you're in a gallery? Is that?
yeah, yeah. No, I've had a gallery for 33 years and a museum.
Yep, beautiful.
So we handle
Cool.
lots of sculptors, painters. So yeah, that's our world, both deceased and living and indigenous, native. So we have all that.
Yep,
So, and I've
yep.
had artists actually that do things like what you do with reclaimed art, pieces of metal and automobiles and wrenches and all that. So I'm actually quite familiar with that kind of art form, that kind of sculpture, because I've had those artists and I like that. I like those artists. And that's why you kind of stand out, in my opinion, because there's a you have a beauty in the way that you make them. They flow. Some the flow, your flow, for instance, has allowed you, in my opinion, to be able to make it feel very seamless and like it just works. Kind of like Deborah Cope, the artist, her name's forgetting, but she does the sculptures of horses out of wood, but then does it with metal as well. And so there's your sculpture, and I looked at all of them because they're very interesting, um, from the small ones all the way to the rhinos. I find those to be quite amazing, actually. Was that one of the
Mm,
first ones that really kind of hit? Was that rhino?
yeah. The oh the first runner I did it was, yeah, that went really well online and just even in person because that's in a public space as well in Perth. And that just it just gets so much attention. Um, Horses are another big one. They just seem to hit all the time. I could really just have a business building horses if I wanted to, which I wouldn't. But um, bulls are another one.
Yeah.
I just think the bulls I could build just bulls, and I'll always find a buyer for bulls. Um, but yeah, that's the thing. Like I think once I built one, I don't really want to see it for another 5 years.
Yeah, I get it.
Um, uh, it it's better for me, and I think it's better for everyone else. If you build something and it sells, or it's whatever, it's going somewhere, then you'll have for the next probably 2 to 3 years, lots of people saying, "Can you build me this horse? Can
Right.
you build me this rhino?" And you kind of just have to say, "No, no, no. I'll probably build one in 5 more years," and it kind of just pushes the demand up again. Um, yeah, I didn't ever think this. It was about 7 years ago that I stopped taking commissions. Um, and it was hard at the start where you have to keep saying no to people.
Right.
And I thought, oh, I'm saying no to all this business. They're not going to come back. But
Hmm.
that wasn't true at all. Like you start saying no and they want it more. They're willing to pay more. They're willing to take almost anything. They just want a part of you, a
Right.
piece of you. Um, so yeah, I would say for a lot of artists out there, like don't be scared to say no to commissions.
Yes.
Because I think a lot of artists are thinking that like, what happens if I'm not going to make any money? I get that, but as an artist, I think if you give yourself the ability to choose what you want and let your inspiration kind of choose the piece, you you produce better work. It's not limited to the collector's imagination. It's like it's your mind. It can go nuts.
Right.
Um, and then you build it, and then the collector's like, "Oh, why? We've never seen this before. Like, why haven't you been doing this?" You're like, "Well, I've been doing commissions." And then you do a new piece, and then they're like, "Oh, can you build us that? And you're like, no, I just did that.
Right.
So, um, yeah, I definitely would say like it's hard. It's hard at the start because you just don't know. Um,
Of course not.
and like everyone's got bills, you've got things you got to like. I get it. But yeah, in terms of running the business, that was a really. I was glad I did it. I think I just found it really hard to keep doing commissions as well. I don't know how other artists find it, but
Yeah.
constantly doing the same old things or what not what you want to do, what other people want you to do. I just found it's kind of it suffocates the creativity.
Hmm.
Um, and in the end, it becomes more like a job,
Yeah, that's right.
or like a factory outlet. And then I'm like, oh, like this is not really why I chose to do this. I did this because I want it to be fun. I want it to be creative. I want the like, yeah. And I guess my medium, my niche is animals. And I'm like, there's so many cool animals out there that I haven't built. Um, and yeah, like it's rare that I pick something now that I'm thinking this will this will be a good seller. Like I build it because I like the animal, um, and I just think, yeah, let's build it. And so far, I've sold everything, so I'm thinking I can't be doing like it has to be working to some degree if they're all selling. So, um,
Yeah.
yeah, and this,
I was going to say you should also document every piece because, it's made for a book, especially if you like doing lots of animals, because that's your life's work too. So many artists, when they first start, they don't think to really make good documents of what they're doing and where they're going. And maybe you're doing this somewhat through Instagram, but also just for your own, legacy and what you want to do. Because you can also see the growth of yourself on time and how you make things. And at some point, you want to do a book, I think. Most artists do and should. So, and you do a variety. I love the Monterey that you had that was kind of coming up, and I thought that one was just amazing. And,
mm,
and I think you're right not to do commissions because you get people that go, well, I want a wrench in there. Can you put that one thing and that to me would be suffocating and then you're a technician versus an artist. And you're clearly an artist, not a technician. I can see that for sure. And I'd like to talk just a little bit about how you find all the material because there's a lot that goes into, I mean, that's part of the process, right? A big part of the process, picking those right objects, found objects. And I would assume, but you can tell me, when you find something in your own mind, you probably can go, I think this would go here, or I could use this for something.
yeah, yeah. So being on the farm, I'm surrounded by farms. Each farm has a scrap heap where it's all just old machinery, old
Right.
farm machinery. Um, Lots of old sheds that have tools and bits and pieces that have been sitting there for 50 years,
Right.
not touched, all rusty. Um, I'll go down to just different farmers' tips, the scrap heap, and just collect all the bits and pieces that I think I'll use, which there's good scrap and there's bad scrap. There's like the stuff that I use in my sculptures are good scrap. They're like uh, big old tractor seats
Yeah.
or a big crescent or hammers or shovel heads or like that's good
Right.
scrap. So yeah, I've kind of I know what I'm looking for now.
Right.
Um, in the scrap heap, there's like a treasure trove of really cool stuff. And you've just got to like find it really. And the cool thing is it's been sitting there for 50 years. You
Yeah.
just didn't know anything about it. And like I was thinking about this the other day. I built a piece that went to Spain, a ibex, the ibex, I think it was, the goat with the big horns. Um, so 3 months, like I started the piece, but 3 months before that, I did a big collection of the scrap metal. Like this scrap metal hasn't literally had human contact for some of it was like 100 years old.
Oh.
I was like, it hasn't been touched for 100 years old. I'll grab it, bring it to the shed, and then in 3 months, it's built into this
Right.
ibex, like just a rant, like an animal. I just like the look of the ibex. So I was like, I'm going to build this. Built into this ibex, and then someone from Austria. So he didn't even live in Spain. Someone from Austria wanted to buy a piece for his holiday house in Spain. So it shipped over from Australia to Spain for this holiday house.
Right.
I'm just thinking, like, this is so, this is
Surreal.
metal that it's like 100 years old, sat on a scrap heap, hasn't had anyone even look at it for 100 years. And then it's built into this thing. And now it's on the other side of the world, overlooking like this, like the Spanish mountains. I'm just like, this is crazy.
Yeah, it is
I
crazy.
just like that concept is so nuts. Um, and also value. Like this is another thing. Scrap metal isn't worth anything. It's not. Like people won't pay. They might pay a little bit of money for it, but in tons of it, not
Right.
like an individual piece. They're just not. They just don't care. They're not going to pay. But as soon as you put it into something like an art form, all of a sudden the value of it's gone. Whatever it is, 1,000x. Like it's just gone exponentially more valuable. The product, the piece is still the same. It's still a crescent, or it's still a wrench, or it's still a
Right.
hammer. But now it's put into this art form, and now as humans, we're like, this is worth a lot of money.
Yep.
I just find that so interesting.
Right.
Um, and like, this is another thing. Like, the art collector was willing to pay this amount of money. Never seen it before. He's seen videos of it, and he's seen me next to it. He's seen me working on it, but he's never seen it before. And he's willing to buy it and then ship it over to the other side of the country for his holiday house. I just think that's wild, like that we can do that now. Like I don't know about you. I'm definitely I want to see it in person. I want to kick the tires. I want to sit
Yeah.
in it, if it's a car or if it's a house or like, but the art world's kind of different now. Like you don't need to see it. Collectors aren't necessarily seeing it. They see videos, they see photos and like, yep, I like it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna buy it.
Yeah. Well, you're very three-dimensional too, the way you think. I mean, you're probably extreme at that. So for you to see it in a two-dimensional image on a screen is not the same kind of emotional context that you need to see it all the way around. I'm sure you spend hours going around and around your sculptures and thinking and manipulating them in their mind in your mind. So I could see that specifically being an obstacle for you to be able to buy something like that without visually seeing it. For me, it's a little easier, especially if I know the sculpture, the sculptor. I can do that, and I buy things online basically multiple times a day. So I've trained my brain where I can understand the issues. But yeah, it does amaze me when I see on my web and somebody clicked for $15,000 sculpture or something and has never seen it, don't know who I am, don't, just on videos or whatever. So, but that's
Mm.
that because that does exist, you can live where you live and have a good living, a great living, and and be an artist. I mean, that's the ultimate thing, I think, for creative people if they need to create, to be able to do that journey and without having to do anything else. I mean, you could have easily, you're obviously a good welder. So, I mean, somehow you learn that skill set. You could have gone down that road too without ever seeing the other component. So, have you ever thought about that? It's like, I could have just been doing this too. I could see this happening.
Yeah, and I actually thought I was going to be a psychologist, so not anything to do with
Welding.
welding or metal or yeah, artist was not in my plans at all. And even for probably the first 5 years, I found it really hard to call myself an artist.
You get it.
Other people would see my work as art, um, but I just like I'm not an artist. Like
Yep.
I build sculptures and I sell them, um, and it's almost not up to you to decide if your work is like I I guess I am an artist now. Um, but I just thought I was building animals that looked like animals out of metal. I didn't even think about calling them sculptures or whatever.
Mm.
Um, and people didn't mind. They're just like, oh, that's fine. But can we buy one? And we also got another house. Can you build another one for this spot? Like, so for me, I was like, oh, this is like, I actually get paid to do this.
Uh-huh.
It's such a, like, I think I was 21 when I started, and I was like, I just can't believe I get to do this
Yeah.
and call it a job. I, like people were willing to pay me this money. It was like for like a kid playing on a mat, playing Lego, and someone saying, "Oh, can I pay you to do this?"
Right.
Except now I'm an adult, I get to build what I want, animals, in the medium that I want, metal, and have 100% freedom with how I do it. And it's just like I get I get paid to do this,
Right.
and then I make some little videos on the side, and it goes out to, I don't know, 30 different countries and 2 million people. Like, I just think that is nuts. And just the whole story about scrap metal and how it's gone from this place out in the middle of nowhere in Australia to America or Canada or like it's yeah, crazy. And I have to keep reminding myself that as well, because I think I've done this for 10 years now. You get used to what you do,
Yes.
and sometimes just standing back, and you're like, oh, it is pretty unique what I get to do and call a job. Like, so I try not to take it for granted, um, just because, yeah, I never, ever, ever would have picked this as a job. And I would like, how do you even think of that either? Like, I just did it because it was fun.
Yeah, I think it picked you. I think you, when you were that kid on the beach, when you were finishing your psychology degree and you saw those sculptures, it lit a light on you and go, oh my God, there's a way to do this. And I don't know it, but I bet if you look back when you were a kid, you're building Legos, right? Probably and working in things and doing that creative form, probably from the very beginning. Is that true? I assume it must
Mm.
have
Yeah, yeah. So I loved Lego. I love building, especially free hand building, not going by the instructions,
been. Right.
just
Of
free
course.
hand building with Lego.
Right.
Um, and drawing. I love to draw. I like would spend hours just drawing animals. Which is yeah, I like drawing still. Um, but just freehand building is fun. Um, and that's why I think commissions never really like I do them. Um, I did them, sorry, but it wasn't the same as when you got free reign. And I'm sure a lot of artists are the same with that. They just yeah, it's something with creativity. This is another thing. I don't know if you've found this with other artists you've spoken with. It doesn't matter how much money someone's willing to throw at the piece. That doesn't improve an artist's creativity or inspiration. Like for me, money has never worked to motivate me to be more creative or be more inspired with the idea. Like the
Right.
idea itself has to be the inspiration. And like I don't know, I've just never found uh qualitative things like money or whatever, like it just doesn't help. It's great that I get paid to do it, but if you've got a someone comes in your DMs and they're saying, I'm willing to pay this for this, that doesn't help me. Like it's cool that they're willing to pay that much money, and it's like, oh, that's a lot of money, but it it doesn't make me want to do the project more as in a creative sense, if that makes sense.
Yeah, not only that, but I think for some artists it inhibits them because they get stuck in a loop of what they think they have to produce because it's what will sell, right? They get known for a very specific style. And so the creativity goes out the window. the fun, the joy goes out the window, and it can be very suppressive. So the fact that you choose what you want to do and the sculptures you want to do is probably the most important thing that you can do as an artist because it does keep the flow going, keeps the creativity going, and it keeps the little kid in you going, which is what it's all about. You are an artist from the get-go. I can tell you that because of the way you like to draw, and we're always drawing and sculpting and making free thought Legos. What no one had just given you the permission to say this is a lane for you. I think it's probably why it didn't come on to you until you saw those sculptures, and it's like, oh, this is something. I don't know if that's right, but that's what it feels like.
Mm. Yeah, my mum likes to paint, but she's a nurse as well, so she didn't really pursue it. So I guess with mum and dad, they sent me to uni and they were thinking just get a normal job,
Yeah,
which I thought the same thing. Um, they didn't they're probably the same as me. They probably didn't think you could have a career as an artist.
I'm sure.
Um, uh, and look, neither did I. And I didn't also think like social media would have uh, done what it's done and like expose my work to all over the world the way it has.
No,
But yeah, definitely the creativity side of thing, I definitely agree with that. Like, which is weird. Like, it's if you try to explain this to someone that's doing just like a normal job, an accountant, an engineer, like, and they've got set parameters with their job, and like they get thrown a huge amount of money to do this job. They're like, yes, like, let's do it.
right.
Um, but as an artist, like the money's still there, and you're like, oh, that's a lot of money. But in terms of the actual work you got to do, you're like, well, that doesn't help me like get into that the flow state we were talking about before. Um, Money definitely doesn't
Right. It
get you into the flow state any quicker, and I think it puts pressure on the artist to
does.
create something that they're trying to meet the clients. Like it inhibits flow. Um, yeah, I if you could, and that's why I love flow so much. Like it doesn't care. It like you can get in flow. You see kids actually. I see kids, and they're like 6 or 7, and they're just drawing at their parents' table. They're just drawing. They're just so happy while they're doing it,
Right.
and like they're making all these faces, and they're like at the end of it, they're just so happy of this drawing. And I think kids get into the flow state so easy because they're not doing it for anyone else apart from the fact their brain and their mind loves it.
Yes.
And I see it, I'm like, that is so good to see kids, like just watching kids be creative is like, that's the flow on tap. And then as adults, we kind of lose that because we've got like deadlines and we've got to meet this requirement for the client. We've got this amount of money. Like we've got all these things that kind of inhibit the flow. But if you can kind of just tap into kids, like what the kids are doing is they're just doing it because it's fun. They enjoy it. They're letting their mind just take them. And then at the end, like it's a really cool product that they've created, but it's got nothing to do with that end state. Like it's just, yeah, I don't know. I'd love to see some research on kids and like the brainwaves while they're being created
Right.
and that flow state. Like, because as you probably know, it's an enjoyable state to be in as an artist. And I'm
Yeah.
sure a lot of the artists you've spoken to have said that as well.
Yes. And a lot of times when you are in that state and you finish something, you look at it and go, I don't even know how I did that. It's like, I don't,
Mm,
like, at least it does that for me when I write sometimes. It's like, I don't know how I did that actually, but I'm sure glad I was able
yeah,
to do it, whatever that is. Just like when you find that perfect
yeah.
piece and then everything just goes bloop, 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 and it just all fits in.
I think, and that's something like as creatives, I think because I just assume everyone's creative or everyone's got this creative spark in them. Uh, like obviously you're creative, you've got your gifts with right. Like I think I just assume everyone's got that creative spark, and I don't know, maybe they don't. Because you see it in the comments, and they're like, "I just wish I could do that," or "I just wish I could do that."
Right.
And for me, I'm like, I can only live in my own brain and my own consciousness, but I'm like, it's so easy. Like I don't need to think to do this.
Right.
Like it's just so natural for me to do it, and probably obviously there's harder parts to it, but and so you're probably the same with your painting and your writing and your um like it just comes natural. You like, and I guess that's a yeah, everyone's got their gift. I guess that's the thing. You just got to find
Yeah.
your gift. Whatever you think just comes natural. Like you don't need to try and you just can do it.
You have to do what you did. You took a year off. You gave yourself the time to investigate that creativity between when you got your degree and trying to figure out what you're going to do. And I think that's part of being able to tap into that creative zone and that creativeness that we probably do all have is to give yourself the opportunity, the permission to do it. And most people don't. They feel obligations, family, money, parents, whatever, and they just go, "Oh, it's just not for, I can't do it. I wish I could, but I can't." Well, you got to give yourself the permission. You did that. That was probably the most important thing you did because I'm sure there was a lot of pressure on people going, when are you going to get a job as a psychologist and all that? What are you doing in the ranch, barn, welding animal things together with old things that you
Yeah.
found in our neighbor's junk pile? I'm sure there was some. Your parents obviously are supportive, or it probably made it somewhat easier, I'm guessing.
Yeah. They were supportive and they were like, go knock yourself out. I um if I wasn't making any money doing it though, I think they would have eventually said, look,
Yeah,
you've got to get an actual job.
yeah,
You've got to earn your keep. But I think they were just as surprised as I was, but like this is getting traction. Um and yeah, it kind of just got bigger and bigger after that. But yeah, the gap year, I'm glad I took it as well. Because yeah, if I didn't, who knows, I'd probably still be a psychologist. I don't know.
yeah.
If I didn't take that gap year, I don't think I ever would have tried. And once you start working in a job, you just don't have time. And most of the artists I've kind of speak to, they became an artist in their 50s or whatever. They're almost semi-retired. Now we've got time. I've got resources. Um, and then they become an artist from 50 to 50 onwards till they go. And they just didn't have that time when they were younger because
Right.
they had bills to pay or they listened to their parents and they said, look, get a job, do that, and just do this in your spare time. But it's really hard to do that in your spare time when you got a job, you got bills, you got family, you got et cetera, et cetera. Um, when I did it, I had none of those things, and I had the family farm that I could come back to, and I had no rent or mortgage or whatever. I think that's what helped me do it, and I was 21, so I was still pretty young. Um, which, yeah, again, I wasn't thinking that like this is a smart decision or anything. I was just like, I'm going to give this a crack. If it
Yeah.
doesn't work, I'll go back and get a job like everyone else. So,
Yeah, you were compelled. Most
mm,
most artists are compelled. They have to be compelled to get over the hump and to stick it out and to make it. And you have that compelling. You just
yeah,
have, you know. I,
mm, yeah,
you know,
yeah.
that's why you have the followers you have and the success that you've had. That you're committed to your craft. I'm sure you spend 8 hours a day, probably almost every day in your studio.
Yeah, it's just like any other job. I would say so with the point about social media, I do talk about this a fair bit. The artists that I know, um, that are true blue artists, they love creating, they love building, they love the creative process. The whole business side, they most of them don't enjoy it.
Right.
Um, and they also really don't enjoy the social media side of it, like putting yourself out there, like being open to the criticism and creating reels and doing photos and carousel, like which I agree with. Um, but I've that's one thing I've kind of learned as an artist is probably um, my work wouldn't be seen, and you probably wouldn't have ever seen it either if I didn't push it so much on social media.
Yep.
That's kind of the business side that I actually don't mind. I actually kind of enjoy it of the arts world, and you're probably that is your business is the business side of the art world. Um, yeah, like if you have an artist with incredible talent, which I'm sure you know lots of them, but they just can't stand the business side, and they're out there, but you'll never see their work because they don't push the marketing and the social media, which I get it. It kind of clashes with the creative side of your brain, but without it, your work just won't get seen. And I think I fell into a niche where, well, I love what I do. I love the creative side of the building, but I also don't mind the psychology and almost the creative side of the business of the um, marketing, like
Yeah.
marketing your work. And that's probably how you saw me on social media, is I enjoy making those reels,
Yep.
um, and like the little things that hook you at the start and then keep you hooked. And then like just little things you can do that can make a humongous difference to whether you're seen as an artist and when you're not. Um, so that's why I kind of say to a lot of artists, like learn learn the business and marketing side of the art just as much as you are the creative side, like the building of your art or the just like yeah, art is so much more than just painting or sculpting or
Yes.
writing or like the part that will make you be able to keep doing it for years and years and years and years will be the business and marketing,
Yeah.
um, which isn't a popular opinion, but I find the artists out there that are doing well, and you probably know them, they push the marketing and business side just as much as the actual artwork itself.
Yeah. And that is creative too. Making those videos is creativity, cutting them right, thinking of the music. You're building something just like one of your sculptures. And, and I find business and marketing and all that, the videos we do a video every day, is quite rewarding and quite creative, because you get to decide the subject and what you want to do and how you want to present it. So, and I think you probably get that same feel of reward by doing it. And you're right, a lot of artists can't do both. And that's why they have a dealer that, does that component that they're not good at. Some artists like yourself can do it. And then they don't need the dealer. They can just, they can do it all. That's a rare gift, but you definitely can do it, clearly. You know? So, so the world knows who you are, Jordan Spriggs. I mean, they know they get to, and the beauty for you, I think, is that you can live where you are and not have to deal with the fame component. That you can be an artist, and you're still treated the same in your town, and you can do everything you want. That's a wonderful.
Mm, yeah, I, I have wondered, like, if I say lived in, I don't know, a major city, New York or London or I don't know, somewhere like where there's millions and millions of people, and I lived in a spot that everyone knew about, what it would be like. Um, I'm not too sure. I don't get, because I'm so remote, I don't get many visitors to my workshop, which is a good thing in that you
Yes.
get zero distractions.
Yes.
Um, so I don't know the other side. If I was to live in a really busy, popular spot, how you get work done.
You don't.
Um,
They get in, it gets in the
yeah,
way for sure.
yeah, yep, yep. So, and that's like, yeah, it is. We've talked about this subject a lot. Like, it's cool that I can still get my work to, say, New York, but not live in New York.
Right.
I just think it's such a cool thing now. The art world is so small in the fact that like you're in Arizona and we're doing a podcast and I'm out in the middle of the wheat belt in one of the most isolated spots in the world and
Hmm.
you wouldn't be able to tell. Like you couldn't, like I just, yeah, crazy, crazy where the world has come now and how small it is. And you saw my work over, it's probably a 30-second clip on Instagram and
Yep.
you saw my work. And like, oh, I'd like to chat with him. Like,
Yep.
I just think that's so cool. Amazing how we can do that now.
Yeah, it compelled me. So, when I see something that I go, well, that's different, that's unique, and that's well done. Yeah, I want to know more about it. I looked at all your, not all of them, but I looked at a majority of, I think I may have looked at all your sculpture actually on your website. I wanted to see from the very beginning to the very end. I wanted to see it.
Mm,
And it was very consistent from the get-go, by the way. I could see more motion as time went on, and maybe bigger projects. But even so, that rhino at the very first was very good. It was excellent. That's why I said, was that the one that did it? Because it was it seemed monumental to me.
yeah. Even there's one piece, I think it was 2015. It was a horse and it was kind of a Arabian stallion and it's kind of running through the wheat crop.
Yeah.
I still get people like that's 10 years ago now. And I still think it's arguably one of my best pieces to
Wow.
date. I would love that piece back. Like it's a thing about being an artist is like your your name generally grows as you get older. So 10 years ago, what I was selling that for then compared to what I'd sell it for now is like
Yeah.
so different. But like I still think I'd it's probably one of my best pieces, and it's because of the movement I was able to capture in that piece. Um, and that was yeah, 10 years ago, which is crazy how time flies. But you'll yeah, if you go back and look at that horse, you'll get what I'm talking, just the movement I was able to get. Um, I really do need to do another like running horse or just something in full,
Right.
like a cheetah even, just something where that you can really just notice how it's moving so quickly.
Maybe do it for yourself and leave it on your property.
Yeah, I think mum and dad would love a piece here.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's only going to go
but
up in
yeah, I
value,
get
probably, right? It's only going to go up in value.
yeah,
But you get to enjoy the art and what you did as a milestone. I could see that. A lot of sculptors I know do that.
mm. It's one of those things as well. It's rare I ever have a piece available, like it's not sold. So it's rare for me to have something that I can just have and have it on display somewhere.
Right,
And then if I need to, I can just sell it at a later date. But yeah, it is nice. When I first started out, I was like, nah, just sell it.
right.
But now I'm kind of like, oh, it's good to have something
Yeah,
that I can just have. Like, and if I want, I can take it on a trailer and go do school talks, or um, I can put it in this space or this property, or like, yeah,
mm-hmm,
and I can do with it whatever I want.
mm-hmm. And if you don't do it now, it gets harder as you get older. And the pieces, first of all, the ability, what you can do as you get older, because yours is very physical work, gets harder. So bigger pieces are going to get harder. So to be able to do
Mm,
something now while you can still do it and just enjoy it, see it, use it for what it is, I could see that. I think you should, you know?
mm, yeah, yeah, yeah. That's another thing. I'm glad I picked this up when I was 21,
Yes.
not 60.
Yes. You couldn't do it.
Um, yeah, it. Well, you could. It's just it'd be everything would be small,
Yeah.
like a small piece. Um, just because you're lugging heavy metal all day
Yeah.
and standing all day in a shed. So
Your back might give out
when you're
and
tw
you know,
yeah,
all that.
when you're 20, you don't notice it. But um, now I'm a bit smarter with how I do things. Like I use a forklift a lot
Yeah.
to move stuff, which is a no-brainer now. And I also get help in if I've got so I'm building a big bull or something, and there's pieces that I need to move. I'll have help
Yes.
in to help me hold. They'll hold this while I weld. Just because if it's a 30 kilo or 40 kilo bit of metal, trying to hold it and weld it at the same time, it's not that easy. So, um, yeah, you couldn't do that when
Mm-mm.
well, it just, it wouldn't
Yeah.
work.
Yeah, you have to think about that. Your body is an instrument. You're an athlete.
Mm,
And, any professional athlete's very careful of how they treat their body and what they do, and you are doing the same. So you just have to take it into account. Because I've done this long enough. I've seen artists that haven't done it properly and ones that have. And so you're still young enough
mm,
to do it the right way. It's a long-term plan. And you have a long-term thinking, I can tell. So you want to think in those, I would think you should think in those terms of 20, 30 years and what are my capabilities and how can I make my career go as long as I can? If nothing else, just for you, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. And I have been doing like the whole commission thing, getting rid of that has certainly
Yeah.
extended my whole time frame because I was thinking I couldn't keep doing it just doing commissions. I like this, I'll burn out.
Yep.
Um, so best thing I could do was, yeah, stop doing commissions. Another one was like getting help,
Yes.
someone in the shed to help me. That's helped extend my thing. Probably getting to the point now where I might need a manager,
Yep.
um, dealing with big companies and corporations, and you're just dealing in things and law that I don't know about.
Yep.
Um, so getting a manager will help extend my career. Social media help. Again, they can drive you crazy dealing with that all day. Get help in for that. And I think there's just, asking for help. You don't need to carry it all. And they actually want to help you. Like that's another thing. They're not out there to like, there's people that know a lot more than you do about this specific thing, and they're there to help, and they want to see you do well. So I guess that's a thing just growing up, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
learning that, people are out there to help, and they want to help. And, they want to come along for the ride. Like, I
Yeah,
guess
they
that's the
will.
thing.
And you can
And
have
I want them to.
yeah, you can have a manager or assistants that go for a lifetime and are very helpful and
Mm,
understand you and understand how you work and your process and all that stuff, which is very helpful. And things just like your drawings. All those drawings you do, they all have value. Even if it's just in the future, they all have value. So many artists don't recognize that at this point and they just toss it or whatever. It's just, it's how I do my process. But the reality is that all has is important to the work that you're doing. So
mm.
keep them.
Yeah, I've got a whole book of
Yep.
those drawings and sketches of sculptures
Yep.
from like the start. I've got a stack of them. And yeah, I am in the process of starting a coffee table book. So the last 10 or 11 years of my work, I'll put into a coffee table book. So, um, that'll be another big job, but I
Yep.
think I need to do it because it's a lot of work. And I think it'd be cool to offer someone something that isn't necessarily a sculpture, like something that they can buy
Absolutely.
and
Right.
they can look at the journey of the last 11 years. Um, and they might not be able to get a piece, say they're in America or Canada or whatever, but they can buy this and they say, "Oh, I've been following this artist from Australia.
Yeah,
This is
that's
what he
right.
does," and they can show people. And yeah, I think that'd be cool.
Yep. I have some artists that are just in such demand that, we take their drawings and sell them, and they do extremely well with those as well. And, people can't afford a $40,000 painting, but they can afford a, $1,500 or $2,000 drawing. Small, just a little small
Mm,
something. And I specialize in a deceased artist named Maynard Dixon, and his big drawings can sell for $50,000. So just a drawing. So I know
mm,
I recognize the importance of them, and I also recognize because I'm a historian too. I write books on artists that those are important in the process. So if nothing else, keep them like you're doing. You're already doing it, which is smart. But it tells the journey because you just don't know how big your journey is going to be, you know. And there's not that many great artists in Australia just because of the size. The populace isn't that big. So I bet if you looked
mm,
at it, I bet you'd find this shocking. But if you went and looked at all the artists in Australia that make their life as an artist, you may, as a creative artist like this, not a actor or something, but you may be the top one in all of Australia.
mm. I mean, I haven't really ever looked at numbers or even other artists. I don't really,
Yeah. But I bet
because
that
I'm so remote.
I know. But I bet
I'm
it's
so
true.
remote.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, Not sure.
Yeah.
I think the thing is with uh like what's the word? Even growth. Growth seems to happen exponentially. It's not necessarily linear. It's not like this. It's more like
Yeah.
a curve.
Horseshoe.
Well, that's what it's been for me. So it's hard for me to kind of fathom, like I was saying before, numbers and stuff like that. Uh, which is fine. Like I'm just happy I get to do what I get to do, and it's great that other people enjoy it as well. Like I think that's so cool that um, other people find enjoyment of me being that kid on the mat building Lego pieces, and people are wanting to watch that, except it's metal and it's animals. I think that's so cool that
Yeah.
you get to do that. Um, and if it's art, if that's what art is, then I guess I'm an artist. But
Well, I know
uh,
it for sure. I've seen your work. I'm a dealer with 33 years of a gallery owner. I can tell you're an artist. Yeah, you make beautiful work. And so if people want to reach out as far as collectors, how do they go about getting a hold of you?
um, Instagram is probably the main one these days. Uh, Instagram, I'm on TikTok as well, but I don't use that as much anymore. That just got too big, so I don't use it much. Facebook as well, or just email.
Yeah,
Um, any of those online, and just type in Jordan Sprigg sculptures, and you'll find me.
that's what I did. I went to it. And I love your fish, by the way. Those are some of my most favorite. I love how they look with it's almost like they're anatomized with their skin off on the part of them. And I could see a school of fish done would be amazing.
Mm,
So, you know,
yeah, I love fish as well. I love fishing, so that's one of
me
my
too.
yeah. Fishing fish is fun to build.
Yeah, they're beautiful. Your work's wonderful. I thank you for taking your time. Did we miss anything? Anything else you want to say or anything that we didn't cover?
Nah, nah. I think that's good. Yeah, enjoyed the chat. Uh, no, I'm sure we have missed something, but you're never going to get it all anyway. But I enjoyed the chat, so thanks for that.
When I get out to Perth, and I know you're 3 hours from there, I will be looking you up sometime in the future. That way I can actually
Yeah.
see that area that you make and create. To me, an artist,
Have you been
nope,
have you been to never been to Perth, never been to Australia?
nope, I've never been to Australia and it's on my bucket list and I want to do it for a long trip, not just, a month, but a long trip. Because
Yeah,
I
yep.
love the desert. I love reptiles. I love fishing. I love all that things. I collect Aboriginal art in my own collection. So yeah.
Cool. Yeah, if you love the outdoors and I'd say the coast, like Australia's beaches and coastline is uh yeah, outdoors, anything outdoors, you'll love Australia.
Yep. And I love snakes and lizards and all that. So yeah, it's made for me.
Plenty of those.
I know. All right. Well,
Yeah.
it was really a pleasure talking to you. We will probably take a few little clips of some of your sculptures and put it in the YouTube form so people can see the sculpture. And then we'll get it out in a few weeks, get it out to all the people that listen to what we do. And you'll have a whole new group of fans just like me.
Beautiful. Yep, no worries. Thanks for the
Uh,
chat, Mark. That
Yeah,
was great.
it was really fun, Jordan. Thank you so much. All right, we'll talk soon, I
Beautiful.
hope. All right, bye-bye.
Yep, all right. Thanks, Mark.